So in 1985, I'm proud to say, a Vermonter was now at the helm of the National Institute of Health and Child Development, a guy named Reed Lyon, and he said, we're going to try this again, but this time we're going to have rules, and we're going to follow the money, and there's going to be oversight. And they sponsored 20 years of research, and they set up 14 research centers at prestigious universities. The result is that there were over 22,000 pieces of research out there to tell us about why kids don't learn to read, and more importantly, how to teach kids to learn how to read. And here's an important piece too. The average duration of the study was 8 years of these 2,000. Anyone know why that's important?
To track their
Yes, they're longitudinal in nature. So when they picked up Billy, when they said in the kindergarten, they scoped them out in the 8th grade to find out if what we did made a difference, or if our prediction about the fact that you can't manipulate phonemes, I think you're going to be a lousy reader, and it's research, right? So we don't do anything. I want to find out. And sure enough, 8th grade, the kid can't read. So this is hugely important. So the research I'm going to be talking to you about is the good research. The other evil research is all gone. This is the good research. From 1985 on, it was supervised research that was done well. Okay. Then the next thing that happened was this whole thing here. People have heard No Child Left Behind. There's very few educators who like this law because it's so political in nature. But the reality is, I don't have a problem with accountability. That's what it's all about, and it really has made a difference. If you look at the research now, minority students, low socioeconomic students, they are making gains, and all these high stakes assessments that we do down south. So it has made a difference, but it has got a bad rap. But there we go. There's just another picture. This is a rare photo. If you know anything about American politics,
Yes, we do.
These two guys do not glad hand and smile very often. Well, this is a picture of the day that No Child Left Behind was signed into law. And this is a picture of these two guys shaking hands. And afterwards, a reporter asked Ted Kennedy, how come you could support this Republican-driven, I don't want to get into politics, but it was an obvious question. And he said, you know something? 40 years ago, I sponsored legislation, and we've spent billions of dollars, and poor kids still can't read. I had to do something different. And he was right. We had spent a ton of money, and nothing was going anywhere. So this is the cusp. This is the tipping point down south of the border in terms of what's happening in education, at least in terms of literacy. And right now what's happening is all the money that was poured into literacy is now being poured into numeracy to find out what are the predictors of kids who later on aren't going to be able to say their math facts or do division or algebra. So the dough is going there. But for right now, for literacy, we've got it nailed. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. So who's weighed in on this thing? Well, this is just a sampling of the folks who've looked at the model of RTI and have put their endorsement behind this model. And they range from everybody from those who are concerned about the fact that in the U.S. we have too many kids of minority status in special ed. What's that about? There's no reason why that should be there, except for something inherently wrong with the system. This is a key one. NEA stands for the National Educational Association. The National Teachers Union in the United States has got behind us and said, this is the way to go. And I think that was one of the most telling endorsements, because we're going to see later on, really is going to make life different for teachers, and as a result, life different for kids.